I have a confession to make, players.
This is serious. I just sharted.
No, not that. Of all the most popular and iconic characters there are in existence, specifically the DC Pantheon, there is but one that I am embarrassed to say I have not read much on. That is Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. I'm talking less than maybe 30 solo issues of any given run at any period of time, not including any other characters' books where she pops up in or team up books, but I need to get my Wonder Woman knowledge up. Truthfully, she is part of the Trinity, one of the most iconic characters ever, and will be joining the DCU in no time. I find it hard sometimes to start from the beginning to the end with a character, so what I'll typically do is just pick a spot in their history, start there, and let my interest in that character foster until I have a bit more fire in me to explore more so their older stuff and anything else they've been in. So that is why I am stoking these flames with Absolute Wonder Woman #1 by Kelly Thompson. I have not read a lot of Kelly Thompson books. I've read maybe a Black Widow and Hawkeye book from her, maybe a King in Black tie-in book, but other than that, I know she worked on Captain Marvel, but I didn't really ever read those books, so I'm not as familiar with her as I am with Scott Snyder. But after reading this, I gotta say, it was pretty sweet. Now, again, I'm not the most familiar when it comes to Wonder Woman lore, but I know the gist about her being raised in Themyscira by Hippolyta and the Amazons. I've heard the story about her being made from clay and then being a product of an affair between Zeus and Hippolyta. So the spin now is that she is given to her enemy Circe as a baby by the god of light Apollo, and essentially reluctantly raised by her and taught in her ways of witchcraft in hell. With the special circumstance of the word Amazon not being allowed to be said by Circe, it seems like the gods are plotting against this little baby by what is inferred to be intentional sending of things that would harm her if she wasn't who she was. As she cast a swift fuck out of here boy to a little hell snake and then a little fire salamander that tries to roast her, and she gives a quick I could end your shit right now yoink to it, but then ends up giving it a little kiss instead, showing those indelible characteristics of strength and compassion and kindness straight from the jump, which rather quickly endears not only all the beasts and demons she comes across, but Circe herself. And honestly, it's my favorite part of the book is watching Circe becoming infatuated with this little cherub little girl and watching Diana grow up and seeing their relationship foster. Besides this, the main plot is that a pyramid-like obelisk that release a bunch of little flying salamanders appears over Gateway City and starts wreaking havoc until Diana comes through and starts piecing them up. First off, the Absolute Wonder Woman design is pretty badass. It is very Lady Sif-esque, I would say, mixed with Ares from the helmet, and then of course she's got a big sword, the Blade of Athena, the goddess of war. She pulls it out of this magical infinite space pouch. Spatial magic is always dope. She has this pretty badass interaction where she asks the soldier if he's in charge here, and he hesitates and she's like, that's a no. And that's when the actual big bad of the comic comes through, Harbinger Prime, which I believe is the first appearance of this character, and also maybe its name suggests it's not the ultimate big bad, but the main instigator or shit stirrer for the real villain for the 5-part Last Amazon arc. We get some nice action with a little foreshadowing, I imagine, for Absolute Superman, and then when Diana gets her shit pushed in, we get a little remember who you are moment with her saying the word Amazon and Circe revealing how Apollo banned her from saying that word to try and stifle Diana from acknowledging what she was and becoming her most powerful self, which the issue ends on a bit of a cliffhanger with Diana pulling out the lasso of truth and then pulling up to Harbinger Prime, basically saying in a way more epic way, over my dead body are you taking over this world. So I think the way the gods are conspiring against Diana is interesting, and I'm assuming that there is more dark side influence at play in Zeus's decision to send his little daughter to hell to be raised by a witch, but I'm curious to find the origin of this change among a myriad of other questions I have that I'm sure will be revealed later, like how did she get her armor, her blade, and how the hell did she get out of hell? I'm curious to see how this Wonder Woman interacts with the rest of the Trinity, how their rapport will be with each other and differ from the main universe Trinity, and especially how they all meet up in the first place. I think they've cut an interesting angle on the divine feminine icon that is Wonder Woman. She remains a warrior princess who is not only badass and beautiful, but compassionate and kind and nurturing. So they've got what I feel in my very limited knowledge on the character, which comes primarily from the animated series, is the core of who the character is in this new light. I feel like like the Absolute Universe might be here to stay, at least for a good while, so I'm pretty excited to see how things unfold. It feels very Ultimate Universe in the best way possible, so I'm all in, pun fully intended. This book was noticeably shorter than Absolute Batman, which is okay, but I feel like this was less conclusive than Absolute Batman because of it, and that's why I'd probably say Absolute Batman is the book that I prefer, and obviously it's Batman, I'm gonna like it more. I like Batman more, but I would have admittedly liked it a little bit more if it was a little bit longer, but it's still fine.
That's what she said.
The art is solid. I think Hayden Sherman did his thing here. Baby Diana was just adorable. There was some pretty good action as well. This one panel of Diana's eyes, which I thought was great. The standout for me, however, is the coloring from Jordi Belair. She is an absolute beast. The colors pop and are extremely vibrant. Just the aura coming off of Apollo was so good. I need Jordi to color my aura as well. That'll take me up a couple hundred points, and I need that. But overall, I think it's a solid book. I think it shows a lot of promise for the Absolute version of Diana and for the Absolute Universe as a whole. I've been going crazy with 90s comics right now, and I'm focusing more so on Superman in preparation for the movie, of course, but I think I'll try to weave in some Wonder Woman Volume 2 in there, even if it is a little bit early. But let me know what y'all thought of Absolute Wonder Woman if you've already read it, where you think it's going, overall opinion on the Absolute Universe so far, and are you excited or going to read Absolute Superman? Let me know. But that is it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want to subscribe, I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I'll see you in the next one.